So we've got a temperature conversion program, and this program is currently just using input to get input and print to print out the results. Now I'm going to run this program, Streamlit run our temp convert, and now it shows up as a website, but it's still asking for input at the shell like it was before. So far we've changed nothing. I'm going to Control C to quit that out. But now we're going to start converting this into Streamlit code instead. So instead of, let's first convert the print. So we're going to say streamlit.write instead of print. And I think this might work. So it's now I'm going to try running it in Thani. It's actually going to say, oops, we should be viewing this in a browser. So we're going to need to do this at the shell here instead. So Streamlit run temp convert. So it's still going to be asking for input at the shell, but now it's going to write it out in the browser. So we've got a web page with the temperature being 0.0. So we're almost there. We've got the output going in the right spot. Now let's see if we can convert the input. So Streamlit has a lot of different inputs that you can use. So if we go to the documentation, here is getting started, or if we go to the API reference, here are all of the different ways we can display things. Where's the input widgets? So we can have all kinds of things to select slider. Let's first start with text input because that's the thing that's most clearly related to the input command we had here. So we'll just change this to Streamlit text input, and no changes other than that. I'm going to run just because I'm used to that, but it says, oops, okay, can't convert a string to a float because a text input starts by just returning a empty string. So I'm going to change this to be a number input instead. Number input. And now I've changed the code. Now it's still running here in the browser, but it says source file changed. I'm going to click rerun. So now it's got a temperature in Fahrenheit, and I can change it. 32, 212. So interesting, huh? So whenever I changed the temperature here in the number input, it reran the whole program with the new value of temperature. So now since we have a number input, we can actually do a little plus and minus here. If you go to the API reference, you can see like how much do you want it to step it by? Is there a minimum and maximum value? So like we can tell it to step by 0.1 degrees instead of 0.01 degrees. Now that says source file changed. We'll rerun. So now we can step it with steps by 0.1 degrees. So there it goes. So we can now have this program that's taking input from the website. We don't need that float anymore. Taking input from a website and putting it out on a website using just basically input and print. Let's do another example. So if we say name, we'll ask for the person's name, then that's a text input, your name, and then we'll write hello, and then your name. So it says source file changed, rerun, your name, I'll say hello again, and then I type it in, it says hello again, that's my name. Okay, and so either of these things runs kind of independently.